Oh, wait, no.
I'll sit down.
Somebody who has it right here,
Don't
would
sit
like to
yet.
read? To Mary? No? All right, then come.
I don't wanna
Oh,
do
yes,
it.
you want to do it?
Come on.
Come on.
Do it halfway there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you just want someone else to do it. Come on, let's have a little conference. I mean, he's here, so he knows what's going on. All right, so it's well marked as for the parts, and it does start off with, Joseph and Mary, and the story, and then something, Jesus comes in. I think if you just keep shifting around, you'll be able to do it, all right? And I don't think, yeah, put it here, and then,
Spread out the pages.
I don't think we
Spread out
have.
the pages so we can see what's coming up next.
No,
No?
they'll get confused.
Okay.
The pages are different. But I will do this. So, yes, they are.
We started with 3.
Yes. Oh, this is the cover. We don't.
All right.
Okay, so let's give it a shot, and I would say, don't worry about stage directions. All right?
We're usually sitting down.
Yeah.
All right.
You come in and bomb away. And 2.
So Joseph.
Yeah, where are you, guys?
Not Joseph.
Joseph.
No, I'm Morgan Jesus.
You're the dad. Who's the dad?
No, Larry's the dad. Larry's
You're
Joseph.
Joseph.
I thought I was
You're Joseph.
He said I was God.
Said it was Jesus'
We
father.
got Jesus, we got Joseph, we got Mary, and we got Marty. And William.
Okay. You're Joseph.
Joseph.
Not God.
Disappointed.
The other father. All right.
Okay. Take it.
All right. This is Marty Povich, Popovich, host of Who's Your Daddy? On this, our 25th anniversary, we have a really special guest. Really special. We could not pre-announce him, and soon you'll see why. First, sitting in the suit to your left is Joseph. Nice suit, Joseph.
Thanks. It's a Joseph Abood, after my namesake.
And there on the couch is Mary wearing, what are you wearing, Mary?
It's an outfit inspired by Madonna in Like a Virgin video, designed by Christian, of course, Mayer.
Stunning. Now, these folks may look familiar. Do you want to give your full name?
Joseph and Mary of Nazareth,
Direct
direct
from
from
heaven.
heaven.
Was that a collective gasp? I think so. Which brings me to my next guest. But before he comes out, we want to emphasize, I can't make it strong enough, this is no second coming. It is simply a segment to clear up a 2,000-year-old family dispute. And now with deep humility, reverence, and adoration, I'd like to bring out a man, the Son, the most holy, let me just get on with it. Jesus of Nazareth, will you please come out? So he comes out. In the interest of clarity and brevity, I ask those of you standing and those of you kneeling, please take your seats. Please, I implore you, take your seats. I've been told our guests will have to hurry off to a bipartisan national prayer breakfast. You can imagine that will keep him quite busy. Thank you. And now, may I call you Jesus?
Yes, my son.
Now, exactly what is the problem?
So over the years, well, generations, my father has expressed a lot of skepticism about my virgin birth. Suspicion has festered for 2 millennia now. Mother and I, we just can't take it anymore.
Joseph, my dear husband, after all these centuries, why won't you believe me?
So, biology, known to the common folks as facts of life.
Well, in this envelope, we have the DNA test results based on samples admitted by you and Jesus. Perhaps that will clear everything up. We'll get to that later. By the way, on your shirt it reads, what would JTB do? Who's JTB? Audience, please don't tell me. I'll figure it out.
I know who. Another father figure. What about me? Jesus, who taught you to fish? Grab things with your hand.
Like what? Crosses? By the way, where were you when I was hanging, bloody and distended? When I cried out, why have you forsaken me? When I cried out, why have you forsaken me? I was not just calling out to the Almighty, I was calling out to you.
Jesus, don't be so hard on your father. Why, who do you think with the grip and flex of his hands paid for your food, your shelter, your bar mitzvah lessons? The Magi's gifts could only go so far.
You tell him, Mayor. You think it was so easy raising a Messiah? You don't think that maybe sometimes you were a little full of yourself? Rebellious too. Who goes chasing moneylenders out of the temple? Did you know some of their descendants went on to run Goldman Sachs?
Moneylenders, fee on them.
I have a confession to make.
E5.
Okay,
Mary, say it again. Mary.
oh, I have a confession to make.
Jesus. Good. Go ahead. Marty?
You came to the right place.
After you left home, I went to them for some venture capital.
What?
Listen, it is not easy being an empty nester, especially with him. I needed to self-actualize, so I set up a trading company.
What?
Listen, do you think supporting a prophet comes cheap? And those disciples, especially Peter and Paul, boy, those boys could eat. I mean, Joseph, do you really think those trips on the Red Sea were family visits? I spent days, weeks at the ports trading Bibles, chickens, and Dead Sea mineral soaps for silk, salt, and Ceylon teas. So I needed some coin to get the whole thing started.
JTB, don't tell me. Jake the Butcher? Okay, to move along and maybe clear up some long-standing tensions, I will open this envelope. Inside are some DNA samples from Jesus and Joseph. The results show that there is a better than 99 match between Joseph and Jesus. Joseph, you are the father!
Daddy!
But wait! There was something unexplained in Jesus' DNA. Silicon? Now, how could that get into a person's DNA?
Lord knows.
The black man appears. You're
Oh, no, he doesn't.
just appeared.
Jesus.
Yeah. He looks like Morgan Freeman.
Morgan, is that really you? I've always looked on you as a father figure.
Another one.
Now being viewed as the closest thing to a god to a god on earth. Well, until now, I've been sent by the DNA testing company Relative.com to try to explain the results. Well, say you're God. You've tried everything. Abraham, Moses, Confucius, Buddha. World's still messed up. Wars, decadence, slavery. Gotta try something different. Something really drastic. No choice. So you create a son who will be sacrificed for mankind's sins. You make him quite human. Find a common man.
Hey, watch it.
And an extraordinary woman.
Thank you.
And you give their child godlike powers. How? By cooking up some local ingredients, in this case, sand, and infusing it in the child's DNA. Kind of farm to table. Now you turn the sand into silicone, behind the scene chips, and create a super being. You still with me? Well, silicon has some weird properties. It can make the brain work harder, but it can also defy gravity and enable a person to, say, walk on water. and it can appear, disappear, reappear, enabling a person to rise from the grave. Best thing is, you can plan to sacrifice your son and still keep him alive. Think Abraham and Isaac.
So in the interest of time, please go to the Who's Your Daddy website for a deeper explanation. So it turns out both you, Joseph, and the Lord are fathers. But Jesus, tell us why you have not visited us sooner.
Frankly, returning the first time was a miracle.
So why not do it again?
Miracles have no second act. Goodbye, son.
Well, that's your...
Goodbye, son. Dad, brother.
So tell me, how did you return this time?
Well, we have some new souls up there. Maybe you've heard of them. One, a genius at making things smaller. The other at helping us understand the vastness of the universe. Yes, Steve Jobs and Stephen Hawking. Somehow they found a way to reduce me and my parents to the side of a quark and send me here through a womb.
Crazy. But you are now, I'd say, over 6 feet. How?
Don't know. Gravity?
By the way, a little aside, the test results show that you are related to a famous actor. Have you heard of Kevin Bacon? Turns out he is your 6th cousin, two millennia removed. JTB, not Chick the Butcher, on the tip of my tongue. But Jesus, when are you coming back?
That second coming thing? Not so fast. Can you imagine the upheaval it would cause? Apocalypse, religious wars. Face it, you no longer want messiahs, you want martyrs. Should I return, they may call me sexist. Why no female disciples? They may even tear down my statues. Who would that do for tourism? What would that do for tourism in Rio? And my teachings, do unto others, turn the other cheek, let you without sin cast. How would I get them out? Tweets? Accept it. You don't want wisdom, simple truths, words to live by. Today you want branding. At best, a marketable truth. How would you categorize me? A rebel, a prophet, a rock star? Been done. Besides, you already crucified John Lennon, who claimed to be more popular than me. Yeah, right. Besides, there are too many temptations. I may have to go into the desert and do some self-examination. Thinking maybe Palm Springs.
But why?
I've been tempted.
Oh, Jesus. Pardon me. By what?
So inside those accommodations you so gracefully provided me, I indulged in an earthly delight.
No.
Yes. A Japanese soaking bath. Every time I would step into the John, I would practically dive into that. It was like a real serial baptism.
John Bath Baptism. Got it. Yes, JTB. What would John the Baptist do?
And all need heroes. My friend Marty, my parents, Joseph and Mary, so good to say that. I must leave for the National Prayer Breakfast now. But first I have to ask, Dad, why weren't you at my crucifixion?
Joe, tell him.
I can't. It's too painful.
Okay, I'll tell him. Jesus, your father was murdered by Roman soldiers.
But why?
They demanded he erect the cross he would be crucified on, so he refused.
Father!
What would you expect less?
You are my hero and my father.
Not just an ordinary Joe.
No, the Almighty gave you a power even greater than he possessed.
What is that?
The power to die for someone you love.
Let's make up. Don't you talk to something?
You might have known all this if you paid your mother a little visit after he rose from the dead.
Well, rising from the grave isn't exactly the same thing.
What? They turned you into a zombie?
Jesus, no. Oops, pardon me. I just felt different, kind of enlightened, at peace and one with the world. After Judas spirited me out, he took the money he received from the Romans and put me a one-way fare across the sea. Day and night, I walked needing neither food nor water.
Makes sense. You were, I don't know what you were.
Neither did I. I began to look inward, on my way to India and study with the Zen master.
You what?
Mary, oops, sorry.
This is no,
Messiah, I guess. This is
Messiah is
some-
an Asian.
yeah, this is no Messiah.
No, this is some
You what?
Yeshiva.
Oh, sugar.
What? This is no Meshuggah. My son Jesus, the Buddhist.
Mary, enough said. It's time to move on. Time to catch up on father and son quality time. How about we go to a chariot race?
Dad, that's so yesterday.
Right, I know. How about a ball game?
Great idea. But wait, there are so many Latin Jesuses in the league now, I wouldn't know if they were cheering a player or calling me. I got it. Say we go look at the Macy's windows this Christmas. Mom, will you join us?
Macy's? Shopping? Count me in.
And now I must go. Bless you, my children.
I told, what? Wait. Yeah, but what? And then I was gone. Oh, all right. I told you.
Forget about that. What's this trading company stuff?
I didn't hear you complain when I gave you the silk prayer shawl. Who do you think made it? Happened to be the personal tailor of the Han Dynasty. You expect such a tallis from the Ben David shop?
Yes, and thank you for buying me in it, for burying me in it. For all these centuries keeping such a secret? Still in business?
Well, commodities are out, especially when you are a spirit. I've moved on to computers, actually software.
Software? How do you hook up with that?
I think it was the name, Gates. You know, Gates of Zion, Gates of Heaven, Gates, Bill Gates.
Bill Gates?
Yes, he created a software program to communicate with me. Who do you think talked him into giving away all those billions?
You could have told me. A husband and a wife should never keep secrets.
Are we going to argue about this for the next few centuries?
Well, this has been a very, very special commercial-free segment of Who's Your Daddy? Till next time, hoping your daddy is your daddy. The end.
We did it, come on up. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you for working that out.
Okay, anybody have?
Like a Chinese fire drill.
Comments?
Very.
Interesting.
Very well done.
Take care.
Anybody have any thoughts, suggestions, ideas about how to put it on the stage?
I thought it was very original and funny, because like, I feel like there aren't any talk shows, those types of shows out anymore. 'Cause, you know, they were popular when.
Oh, it's still around.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, correct.
Matter of fact, they, one,
Actually, somebody said, it was part of a workshop, it was taught by somebody named Chris Newbound, who's well-known up in the Berkshires, and he's a professor at NCLA, and he said the same thing, because they don't have that up there, but it is still on.
Oh,
You're just probably
sorry.
busy working and not watching television.
Right.
10,
I take
11
it back, but it
in the
was very, I thought it was, as, I guess, can I still say it was, oh my god, I can't talk, original, because,
morning. Okay, sure.
I mean, it's kind of funny how it was Jesus, and then who was Jesus' father, and then there's all these other people involved, so I thought it was clever.
I didn't know if you want me to say, oh, I was gonna say like, Michael, well, this is based on a true story.
come from? Tell us that.
I don't know. You know what happened? I think of it in Long Island. I live in Plainview, but I also have a kind of cottage up in the Berkshires. It's a little place up in Beckett, Massachusetts, which is a hill town. Mostly people. There are some Long Island exiles who you see at the Beckett Arts Center. Susan Dworkin, I don't know. She's kind of famous. And she lives up there. She actually runs the Beckett Arts Center. But they also have an IS 183 that's run by playwrights. There was a Jim Frangione, one of David Mamet's stable of actors, and he taught the first program. And then Chris Newbound, who's more of a writer than a director, taught the second program. So really I had to come up with something because I signed up for the course. I knew what I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure where it was going. What happens, I have a neighbor. See, cannabis plants are illegal up there. And I had a little shed where I ride in the back. It's a third of an acre, it's all the way down the slope. And you get hungry, you know, you're sitting there writing, so I start biting the leaves, and I suppose that's where something came
Just need your more.
So psychedelic dream, okay.
Well, this is going a little far to the field, but it's just that a couple of months ago, I was on YouTube, and there was an episode of House, where House was investigating the possibility of an immaculate conception. And when of course, you know, after I got to about five snarky remarks, well, not 50 snarky remarks, what they found was that the mother actually, very, very rare, and often doesn't result in a pregnancy, but 2 eggs were released from her ovum at the exact same time, and somehow the nuclei joined, creating a conceived child without male fertilization.
It's called parthenogenesis.
Okay, well that's too complicated for me. I went over Morgan Freeman's Through the Wormhole, and I was using quantum physics and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.